All right, and we are live. Let me get a sip of water to get my radio voice on. All right, guys, let's try to keep this on topic. As I've said before, I'm going to be very, very polite to people, but I don't want any nonsense in here, no trolling. I'm going to quietly just clean up anything that comes through. Try not to mention it, but I'm going to request that you guys do the same also. In other words, if you see me removing trolling, removing whatever, uh, don't ask about it, don't type about it. That's all I'm going to request, and I'm going to be polite. I expect everyone in here to be polite. I'm going to answer your questions. All right, so let's get into the questions. We're already getting them. That was fast. Usually don't get any in the first minute. Uh, does someone who's supplementing D3 really also have to take K2 to fully utilize it, or is that overblown? Depends on how much vitamin K is in your diet. K2 itself is very, very powerful, and the amount that we can benefit from K2 seems to exceed what we can get in our diet. Okay, so in other words, it's one of those supplements that appears to have improvements in blood work and health markers at doses that we cannot naturally get in our diet. So it's one of those potentially healthy supplements. But yeah, there are benefits to combining your K2 with your D3. I don't think it's a bad idea, particularly if any sort of cardiovascular disease runs in your family. All right. All right. Can I add 500 push-ups a day to your novice program? I would not recommend that you do that, Xander. I don't think that you should. Do you measure your blood vitamin D levels to adjust supplements? No, I just supplement it, and I know that I'm below what would be considered anything dangerous, so it's not a big deal. Not a big deal. And D3 is pretty cheap. All right. Are there exercises besides the big three you consider to be absolutely necessary to maximize strength and hypertrophy? No. Like, let's be honest. I program the big three for a lot of reasons. I've made a lot of videos explaining why it's a good idea to make them the foundation of most of your strength programs. But are they absolutely necessary? Or even the big three absolutely necessary? No. I think it's very wise to use them. They're not necessary. So if they're not necessary, what's the answer to the question? Well, nothing really. Jason, what do you think about adding 400 milligrams a deca to my 200 milligrams TRT dose from my? Are your doctor's giving you 200? You sure that's TRT? What's your? I want to know what your blood serum levels are. You said your doctor's giving you TRT at 200 milligrams. Is that a week or every other week? And if it's every week, what's your nanograms per deciliter on your blood work? I'm actually curious. Type that down below for me. I mean, I suppose that's reasonable. The DECA has its own set of problems, of course, and because you don't know how you're going to respond to DECA, I don't really know what to tell you, um, because it's one of those that you're going to have to try it and see. Some people love it, some people hate it, right? I don't mess with it anymore personally. Is magnesium another one of those supplements that might be beneficial in a way K2 is? Maybe, but it not really, because it's possible to get enough magnesium in your diet to get full health benefits. I guess it would really depend on what your diet looks like, right? Alex, give me the number. Alex, I see that you wrote that every week, but give me a nanograms per deciliter, because it's got to be crazy high on 200. All right. Coach, some influencer named Joey Swoll. I'm actually familiar with him because I'm on Facebook a lot. Facebook's my biggest platform right now. Says you can work your hamstrings on leg press thoughts. I don't know if he said that, but if he said that, that's a really ignorant statement. Like, what's his evidence for that? The evidence would say no. And don't get me wrong, I program leg press for a lot of people. It is not a hamstring exercise. Will 3x10 at 60 to 65% run max stimulate hypertrophy in an elite lifter? Maybe. Definitely. I wouldn't recommend that as a primary training modality. Zach, how about instead you take it to 1 to 2 reps in reserve, irrespective of what the percentage is? Percentages for things like that are a baseline. Okay, they're a baseline to get you in the ballpark because you have no idea what to put on the bar. Then you can assess how close to failure you're getting and then adjust accordingly. Okay, that's what you need to be looking at, the quality of those sets. Hey, Coach, loving the interviews you're doing. Keep it up. Yeah, there's going to be a lot more of those. Is slowly ramping up to running a 5K daily while doing your novice 2.0 reasonable? Of course, without the aforementioned. Yes, if you very slowly ramp up, very slowly, just keep in mind that you're going to have to balance things carefully there. You definitely are going to have to bulk to pull that off. Do you think bigger and stronger lifters should lower training frequency, for example? Nope. I don't even need to read any further. The answer is no. Natty Kinase seems promising for cardiovascular health. I'm completely unaware. I range between 900 to 1200 last 1100. That's not TRT. Now, granted, your doctor's prescribing it, so I get it. You're taking a legal blast. What you're doing is doing a small blast under the care of a physician, but that's not actually TRT. You're above the reference range, and I'm fine. I don't have any issue with you doing that either. Just saying that it's not TRT. You're not a replacement. You're super physiological by a small margin. What's the best glute move in your opinion? There isn't one. In fact, most of us are doing 3 or 4 glute exercises, no matter what we're doing for our lower body, if our programming is good. It's just not a best glute exercise. How many sets a week would you recommend? 10 to 12. I think that is a good baseline to assess. That's a good starting position, Brendan. And then you have to assess what's going on with your recovery and your programming for there. I haven't trained for 6 weeks due to work. Should I get back in? How should I come in light? Do almost a remedial workout your first week, and then by week 2, get back into your normal programming. Joey's responding to a TikTok video. He demonstrated if you use the leg press on the wide stance and high foot placement, you can emulate a low bar squat and it works. It's not enough to build hamstrings the way that we want, though, Benny. That's the problem. There's some hamstring involvement, yes. It's not enough to really make them grow. It's more the case of, in that case, building your hamstrings will help your low bar squat. Building your hamstrings will help that placement on the leg press. It's the other way around. That's not going to really effectively build hamstrings to a large degree. It would be a very small amount. If you want to maximize on it, build your hamstrings so that you can train that position with more weight. So upper body day every Monday and Thursday is good. Yes. What's your opinion on Greg Doucette's main gaining theory? Can you build? He's full of shit. Completely full of shit. Do you believe in mega dose K2 46 milligrams like in the Japanese osteoporosis study? Possibly. It may be beneficial. After max effort, lower body, could I do 3 sets of 5 reps on high bar squat because I want bigger legs? I would not recommend that. I can't say that I would recommend you do that. No, James. I don't think most people need to be. If you're running true conjugate like that, MEDE, you probably don't need to be doing supplemental back squats. Probably not necessary. And that's not the best way to build big legs. Doing leg exercises is single leg exercises, machines, because you're already doing max effort, dynamic effort squatting. You probably don't need more squatting. Jason recently, John Skywalker said every male should be using 200 milligrams of test a week due to the natural decline. That data has been taken out of context. And I'm not saying 200 milligrams is a problem. I use at least that year round, nonstop. So let me make that clear. I don't think it's a problem. But that line about the naturally declined has been taken out of context by people on the internet, and they have a bullshit position on it. Okay? Does that make sense? Like 200 milligrams is going to put you higher than any population of humans has probably ever had, like as a demographic historically. Again, not that I have a problem with it, it's just that the other stuff isn't factually correct. Stuck at a plus minus 10 pounds from a 295 bench for 2 years. Despite this, gained chest muscle, particularly upper, lots of delt and triceps have gotten 25% stronger on buying extensions. What gives on conjugate? I don't know. I need to see what's up with your training. Any tips? But keep getting bigger. I don't think you've gotten this that much bigger if it's been stuck. Okay? Something's wrong. Any tips for cracking a 600 squat? I've been training 15 years. I'm stuck at 540. You're going to have to fix your weak links. Get strong at good mornings. Find the weakest link in your squat and hypertrophy it. How much weight on good mornings for sets of 10 would you expect from a 600-pound deadlifter? That's going to vary. I would like to see a minimum. It depends on what bar. A safety squat bar, obviously lower. Other bars, at least 300, at least 300. I mean, even at a point where I was really strong at good mornings, when I pulled a 625 deficit, I had done 390 for 10 reps on a good morning in that same block of training. Would you ever have someone who's running clen titrated up? I generally don't want my lifters on clen. So you prefer accessing your program based on how close you feel for 1 to 2 reps in reserve versus maxes and percentages. Personally, yes, I like reps in reserves for the most part. Are higher reps really better for hypertrophy? Yes and no. I've done a lot of videos on that, like rep ranges, how they carry over, how the different rep ranges affect recovery, how these things translate into each other. I probably have 100 hours of videos on this channel on that topic, and I do mean that literally. Start digging. Is the overhead press bad for the shoulders back? Winning says it is. This is so controversial. I have leaning in the direction of it is. What type of good morning is better for deadlifts? My squat was 220 kg, deadlift 210, and I added 10 kilograms to my good morning. And now my squat's 230, my deadlift's 230, I'm 91. I like narrower stance. I think safety bar really carries over, right? I think safety bar with a shoulder width stance has tremendous carryover to your conventional deadlift. How do you program the reverse hyper? If we're doing volume, I like to see 5 sets of 25 at 25% of your squat max. If we're going to go for a little heavier, I like to see 5 sets of 10 at 50% of your squat max. Jason, do you see any long-term health issues from using TRT for the rest of your life from, let's say, age 25? Probably not. Nope. If you need TRT, why would it hurt your health? It reduces all-cause mortality. What's your current opinion on fish oil? I think fish oil is good. Oh, I appreciate the donation. Dean, let me get to your question. And some of you guys may need to re-ask because it's going to get buried. Small donation for you. Do you think mini bulks and cuts are a waste of time, or can they work? Say, for example, 5 or 6 pound bulks, then do a short cut. I don't like the shorter ones. I don't think it gives you enough time to accrue and permanently accrue the tissue and adaptations you want. I don't like to see bulks less than about 20 weeks. I really don't. I think mini cuts are okay periodically throughout a long-term bulk if you need it. But it's stuff like a mini cut like every 6 months or something. If you want to continue to do a slow bulk, I don't think is a bad approach for slightly more advanced lifters. I don't like to see novices doing that. But I think mini bulks and then the shortcuts, I don't think it's as effective, quite frankly. Is calf training necessary for powerlifting and direct ab training? This stuff's getting all buried. Hold on. Do you think strength and fitness advice on social media has gotten better or worse since you started on YouTube? That's a mixed bag. The access to good information has dramatically improved. The general knowledge base has dramatically improved. The amount of bad information being pumped out has also increased. Flat, incline, overhead press, same workout. Maybe if your shoulders can handle the overhead with that. Been frustrated to be stuck for sure. I wanted coaching from you, but now I've got an engineering job. I can finally afford it. Open slots. What's your going rate? Levi, I have open slots. I have bumped it to 300 per month last November, and that's where it's been. Jason, do you think it's worth adding HCG from my doctor to maintain a fertility year round? Why do you need to be fertile year round? Are you trying to produce a kid every 3 months? Like, do you have 4 wives? Do you see where I'm going here, Alex? The only reason for you, if you're getting a little sperm count from your supplementation, the only reason for you to boost your sperm count is because when you want to father children. So if you're looking for year-round fertility, I assume you have 4 wives. You're trying to keep it pregnant year-round on different timers. That would be the only way that makes sense. If you only have 1 wife, I don't understand why you're doing this. Also, don't do DECA. That would be, if you're concerned with year-round fertility, DECA would not be what you need to be adding. I already have beat up shoulders from college football. Should I stop doing the overhead press? Probably. How do you get away with lifting to failure all the time? It seems many of the compound lifts you often take to failure. I don't take them to failure. Failure means you're missing reps. Darko, let me ask you a question. How many times have you seen me get stapled in an average workout? When's the last time you saw it? Have I been stapled even once on a multi-joint movement on camera this year? So you see me take no sets to failure. That's what failure means. So failure means on the bench press, the bar comes down and hits the pins, the safety pins, and then you roll it off. Failure on a squat means, it hits the safety pins and you crawl out from under it. That's what failure means. Thoughts on T-bar rows? They're okay. It's not my preferred row. I'd like to say thank you for helping me build a 230 kilogram squat. I wonder how people you help build that. Cheers, coach. Thank you. Any validity on the use of a mouthpiece to increase max strength? I think it's nonsense. How to work the rectus femoris without leg extensions? Deadlifts technically will do it, right? Are you still planning to increase prices to 500? Not in the near future. Long term, I will, Joseph. Let me explain how prices work. I do not increase prices for current clients. So I have clients who still pay 200. For years, I ran 250. Okay. For years, I ran 250. Then I went to 300. My people who came on at 250 still pay 250. My clients who came on at 200 still pay 200. Three of them who you guys have seen, Justin, Emma, Louie, they came on way back in the day. So they never even had to do the 250. So my prices are what you lock in at. So if someone comes on now at 300 and I don't know, I get so popular that I pull a full Greg Doucette and raise my prices to 1,000 plus a month, like guys like Doucette do. My people who came on at 300 stay at 300. Do you have any advice for guys who want to lift whilst working stressful corporate jobs, working 60 plus hours a week? That's where coaching comes in. A lot of stress management, fatigue management, programming has to be careful. Paul Carter says lower reps are actually better for hypertrophy, even on smaller exercises, because lower reps are more fatiguing. I don't know that's necessarily true. Jason, you're a monster. I'd love to see you do some grappling training. Honestly, you have major untapped potential. I'd consider a grappling sport eventually, like BJJ or something. Right now, I don't have the time. It's like between lifting, working with the guitar, I don't have time for another hobby, quite frankly. Can you make substantial gains I guess, less than half a gram a week, 200 tests? Yeah, you can. I mean, it depends on how big you are. Diminished returns, things like myostat and other things increasing as you get bigger, you're going to reach a point where you can't grow on that. Can you go too low on SSB? Good morning, treat my lower back early this week. Yeah, but your range of motion is determined by your hip structure versus stance. You need to take it to the range of motion that your anatomy allows for at the hip. Don't round your back. Like you shouldn't be rounding your lower back. So you shouldn't be tweaking it on those. What's your favorite chest and shoulder builders? Bench press, incline bench. Does it matter if you train in the morning or at night? Nope. Depends on what you're currently adapted to. Isn't lifting to failure leaving zero in reserve? No. Zero in reserve means no in reserve. Failure means you missed the last rep. You fail to complete the rep. Jason destroyed Greg Doucette. He's an annoying parrot from Aladdin who doesn't know. Greg came onto my channel and tried to argue with me one time in a video, and I did clown him. Do I still shoot guns? Yes, I still shoot guns. Is that a strat? What country? Which one? One is an American and one's a Mexican. So the Maple Neck is a player series, which is made in Mexico. The Rosewood Neck is an American professional too. The price difference between the two is about $1,000 difference. Can you adapt to the higher rep sets faster than you can to sets? I'm not sure what you mean there. Revisiting the longevity topic, would you say the higher protein intake of resistance training is even beneficial in trying to reach 100 for many women and certain? That's nuanced because of the problem is eventually you're dealing with longevity in your 60s, 70s, and 80s versus 100 are two completely different things, right? There's going to be a point at 100 plus where the extra muscle is even a strain on heart and other stuff. That's a complex topic. If you're talking about longevity in your 70s and 80s, muscle is beneficial. At a certain age, though, just carrying body mass in general becomes a problem at those extreme ages. Again, it's a very complicated topic. Jason, I'd love to see more interviews, and ones you've done have been awesome. Yep, that'd be horrible. But Jason, a famous YouTuber, said you must run HCG along TRT to maintain fertility, otherwise you would be infertile in a few years. Well, Alex, I don't care what he said, just not reality. It's a shame to see your YouTube subscribers are stagnant. Oh, because I hadn't done a lot of fresh content. They're going back up, Joseph. They should be cresting 114K shortly. Like I'm less than 100 subscribers from that now. They've been going up since I started doing lives again. What do you think is going to tire you out more, doing an AMRAP or push-up? I don't care. I'm never going to be prescribing AMRAPs and push-ups. What's the worst client you ever had? I'm not going to go into details. I've had a few bad ones. How many clients do you currently have? I don't have the exact count in front of me. If you coached a YouTuber like RF, would you be okay with him making some content on it? Why would I have a problem with someone making content about me coaching them? What would you consider a good arm measurement for an experienced natural? Okay, steroid free. There is no such thing as a natural lifter. That's a marketing term. Said, okay, beautiful guitar is the only increase in value. That's Ray Vaughan or Jimi Hendrix. I'm a Stevie Ray Vaughan fan. Notice the color on that strap. That looks very similar to Stevie Ray Vaughan's color scheme. Current opinion on trap bar deadlifts and who should program them. I'm not a fan. What supplements do you take other than NAC? Right now, D3, K2, fish oil, the NAC, and there's some other one. What am I forgetting? I don't know. Something else. I forgot one. Did I say creatine? Creatine, fish oil. Those are always your big ones. Any reasons for not using your monolift? Yeah, it's dangerous and clunky. Thoughts on flat and incline barbell press on Monday, then the dumbbell version on Tuesday. That's fine. I've programmed that for people. How do you train if you're on a holiday for a while and don't have access to a gym? Take bands with you. I'm not gonna atomic. It's not in good form for me to badmouth a former client, so I'm not gonna do that. Again, current clients wouldn't appreciate that because they don't know, or am I going to badmouth them in public after they're gone? Okay. So I'm not going to badmouth Isaac, other than I will say that Isaac is not welcome back on Team Blaha. And I will simply leave it at that. And if he comes back and goes, Coach, I have this amount of money, can you take me back on? It's just not going to happen. And I'll just leave it at that. Longevity as a goal is pretty unreasonable. So many factors outside of your control determine how long you live and how we live. Just like Leo did not have good advice either. I mean, be realistic. Hey, Jason, LGD 433 looks to be getting approved for human consumption in a few months. What's your thoughts? You know what? I'm going to stick with the tried and true things. I got a question. What do you guys think my stack is? Okay, because obviously anyone can say, oh, we think you look at my fat-free mass index. You guys have now seen me shirtless. You know I'm 5'9", 225 pounds. My fat-free mass index is over 27, so drop that. What do you guys think my stack is? What do you guys think I use? If someone actually guesses it, I might actually say yes. Okay. Jason, I'm on a day 5 of cold showers. I PR'd at 3:09, making me mentally stronger. Like, okay, that's kind of, I don't get it. Chelsea, why am I not a fan of trap bar deadlifts? I think they're unstable. I think they're a clunky piece of shit. And I think they cause injuries at the lockouts. Plus, they require you to use more weight to get the same training response because they're easier. It's just more axial loading for no benefit. Okay. All right. Why did Isaac? You would have to ask Isaac. What is your opinion on direct neck training these days? That probably wise to stop once you reach a certain next to us to avoid sleep apnea. I'm not a fan of doing all angles. I think extensions are fine. Who is more attracted to women, a pro golfer or a pro bodybuilder? Pro golfer, probably. Should I snort bar? No. No. Will progress be quicker if you repeat the same upper workout on both Monday and Thursday or change them up a bit? Looking Jack, man, thank you. No, I think it's fine to do the same ones. Oh, let's see. Ooh, out of all those guesses, someone actually got it right. Darko, you win. I don't use orals at all. I have not used any orals at all in 2023, not one. But yeah, I love Primo. I think people realize that Primo bowling's kind of my thing. All right. Jason, is there a risk of a very jack strong lifter to hurt a skinny girl in the bedroom due to too much? Maybe. I deadlifted 245 kg, but benched only 115 kg, meet legal, 120 kilogram touch and go. At 78 kilo, would you say these are crazy proportions? I'll probably get to 600 pounds deadlift faster than 315 bench. Bro, you just got to get your upper body thicker. You have to get thicker. Chelsea, what if you didn't have access to gym equipment? Bands. Find heavy objects to pick up. Something, anything. Jason, can you focus on creating content for beginner lifters? No offense, but I get lost in the advanced theory of lifting. Well, I have free novice programs. That's kind of what they need. It's all there already. Sat nav, I read on the internet your natural. There you go, bro. That's how it works. Who came closest to your doses? Oh, that's a good question, Magnus. I'm going to say it's somewhere between about David and Xander. All right. How do you address a client when you are failing to follow the prescribed program? It depends on how emotionally invested I am. If I have a client who doesn't follow my programming, but he's not uploading clips of the training, but he pays on time and he's never late and he refuses to follow the programming, guess what? That client becomes a paycheck. Okay. Now, if I have a client who I'm putting on the platform, it's going to be a little bit different because the thing is they're now representing me. Okay. They're representing me. That's a little bit different. If I'm emotionally invested in a client, I've become their friend a bit and they're going off program, I'm going to be a lot harder on them over it. But yeah, if they're going off program a lot and they're uploading content to the internet, is my client, I'm going to have to fire them. So again, it really varies. But usually I'm going to try to talk to a client about it a few times. I'm going to discuss with them that, look, you're not going to get the results if you don't follow the exact programming. Okay, you're not. Right? And if I talk to them a few times and they still don't follow it, but they're not belligerent, they don't blame me when they don't get the results they want, and they keep paying, what do you think I'm going to do? The moment they blame me, though, when they've been going off program, then we got a problem. And I've had that's a ridiculous post. Regarding your reply on beginner lifters, yes, but you can go into specifics the way you do for even advanced audience. Jay, I could probably do some more in the future. All right. Magnus, I'll give you a hint. 1G total, everything added together. How many clients, so clients go off program, right? Clients go off program. It happens. Every coach realizes this happens. It's normal, right? It's normal. It is going to happen. You're going to have clients who are 100% compliant, and you're going to have clients who come off program. Off program means they add stuff you didn't tell them to do. Going off program means, hey, coach, I know it was supposed to be my off day from the gym, but I went to the gym with my mates and we had a deadlift contest and I maxed out on my deadlift outside of my normal training. Hey, coach, I decided to do a pull-up contest with my mates to see who could do the most pull-ups in 1 hour. Stuff like that, but definitely adding too much stuff that I didn't prescribe and not running it by me. Going and adding a bunch of cardio without asking me about it first. That's going off program, right? We need to discuss these things. If someone says, hey, I'm going to go do a pull-up contest, they need to tell me when I'm writing their programming. Would you ever consider hiring a coach to get another perspective for competition? No, because I'm not coachable as far as that goes. I am uncoachable. And I know that about myself. So why would I waste my money and a coach's time? I'm going to go off program. So let's just talk about what the thing of me discussing with clients. I'm a great coach. I have plenty of clients who tell me, you're a great coach. You're an amazing coach. I am not a good client because I know more than my coach. Fuck him. See how that works? So what I do, I talk to other high-level coaches and I do run things by them and we have discussion. Okay? All right? We have discussions and I take certain things under advisement sometimes, but I'm not coachable, and particularly by other men. Like, that's a problem. Like, I don't deal well with men in general telling me what to do. Just don't. How many clients, how many calories? I can't give you your calories now. You need to weigh and track your calories to figure out where your TDE is. Darko said, yeah, you seem like a person who doesn't like to be told what to do and take orders from anyone. Just one of the reasons you refuse to be coached. Darko, that's exactly why. Because I know I'm not going to listen. So why would I hire a coach? Right? Because I'm going to go figure out how to do it myself. Again, I have decades of experience. I'm up to speed with all the scientific literature. I'm up to speed of the methods of all the world level coaches out there. I'm familiar with their methods and I'm in the trenches all the time. I can pretty well figure it out. So there's reasons for psychological reasons why some people need a coach, but I'm not wired that way. I have clients who are trainers and coaches who I coach, but they're wired that way. Okay. And so that's what's up. Are your sneakers Converse? Yes. Thoughts on reverse sled pulls for lower body muscle endurance, specifically quads? I think all sled work is good for that. Emperor, the point is, I'm going to go learn what they know. Does that make sense? I'm always learning. I believe in continually learning. I don't work well with other people giving me instructions in an area where I can obtain the knowledge myself in my area of expertise. I just don't. It's a personality trait. Right? It's a personality trait. But again, I know this about myself. Know yourself. Jason, do you like multivitamins for lifters, or do the synthetic vitamins do more harm than good? No, I don't like them, but I don't think it's that they do more harm than good. I've done videos on that. That's a rather nuanced topic. I don't use multivitamins. I don't recommend them. All right, guys, we've run this pretty far though. So we're at 39 minutes. It's a nice, good live. This was actually a good one. There was a lot of good topics covered. I appreciate those who donated. I love all of you guys and gals, and we will keep doing a lot more of these. These are going to continue to be a regular thing. So I will talk to all of you next time.